What's up, guys? It's Taylor and I am back with another video. You already know the deal if you read the title. Today I'm recapping episode 10 of the challenge Total Madness on MTV. Now I gotta say, this episode to me personally was just a little weird. Not weird, but it was just some things that happened in the episode that I didn't quite understand. Great episode nonetheless, so without further ado, let's get into it. So the episode starts off with everybody coming back from elimination. Last week was a double elimination for the girls, and it was Casey versus Kayla and Anissa versus Jenna, with Anissa and Casey both being triumphant in those eliminations. So everybody's coming back from elimination, everybody's congratulating Anissa, everybody's congratulating Casey and everything like that. So basically we see Nani, you know, she's talking to Wes and everything like that, and she's asking him how he feels, and you know, he says that, you know, the Holy Trinity or whatever, they were a liability to Nani. And you know, I kind of have to agree with Wes. You know, I don't know if I would go so far as to say that they were a liability, but I mean, let's be real here. The Holy Trinity, they're not, I mean, they could be they're numbers to some people, but they don't hold any power, you know? They haven't accomplished anything in these shows for people to respect them enough to hold that power, you know? And that's not a diss, that's just facts. I don't have anything against them personally, but you know, I do agree with Wes. They were a liability, and I'm not surprised to see them go. Josh is on a FaceTime call with his family. We also see Corey talking to his girlfriend who's pregnant and everything like that. So that's just some family time. We see people sitting around talking about who wants to go in to get their red skull. Corey wants to go in. Josh feels like he's ready to go in. We also see Wes and Bananas kind of talking about their, you know, alliance, their relationship with one another. You know, and they're basically acknowledging the fact that, you know, for 15 years on this show, they have been going at one another. They've been rivals and enemies for most of the time. But, you know, this season is the first season that they're actually working together, and, you know, they're acknowledging that. And I think that's a pretty great feat. They are probably one of the greatest rivalries to ever be on this show. You know, there are a few others I'm sure of, but these two, you know, they've been going at each other for years, and you know, this is, you know, kind of like a monumental season for them, so you know, they kind of acknowledge that. Next we have this week's challenge, which is a fan favorite, trivia. Everybody loves trivia. I love trivia. It's always one of the funniest challenges. You get to see who is not the brightest and who has the best grip. So I love trivia, and that was this week's challenge. The name of this week's trivia challenge is called Thrown Off. So basically, just like every other trivia, they are on this platform, and they're on this type of, you know, thingy or whatever. They're on this type of thing, and this season it's a missile. And so basically everybody's on a missile, and they have to answer questions. If you get an answer right, you get to stay on, but you also get to give a strike to somebody else. If you get 2 strikes, you're off. And also, if you get it wrong, you get a strike, so you hurt yourself. TJ also announces that whoever wins this and gets into the tribunal will get a Burger King sponsored dinner this week. So Burger King is going to be giving them food, and they get to have, you know, a feast and everything like that. So that's pretty cool. But basically, the girls are up first, and Maddie's the first one to go. She answers her question, and she gets it wrong, and she falls right away, so she's out. Nani's next, and she gets her question right, and she gives her strike to Anissa because she doesn't want to make any enemies. Next is Bailey, and she gets her question wrong, and she falls, so she's out. Next is Jenny, and she gets her question right, but she gives her strike to Casey. Now Casey gets a strike, and she gets jolted, but she stays on, so she doesn't fall off right away. Next we have Dee. Dee answers her question right, and she also gives her strike to Casey, so unfortunately Casey's out. Kind of sucks, Casey didn't even get a chance to answer a question, but hey, that's the game. Next we have Melissa, who answers her question, and she gets it right, and she gives her strike to Nani, and I think Nani falls. I believe Nani falls after that, yeah. So Melissa has to go again, And after Melissa goes again, she gets her question wrong this time, and she unfortunately falls off and she's out. The last two girls standing are Dee and Jenny. Dee is the first one to get asked a question, and she gets her question right. And because her and Jenny are the last two left, Jenny gets the strike, and unfortunately Jenny falls, and that makes Dee the winner for the girls this week. The guys are up next, and up first is Swaggy. Swaggy gets his question right, and he gives his strike to Josh, and there's no surprise there. After he gives his strike to Josh, Josh falls. Next up, we have Corey. Corey gets his question wrong, and he gets jolted, but he stays up. Wes is next, and he gets his question right, and he gives a strike to Corey, so even though Corey stayed up, he ends up falling anyway, and he's out. Next is Nelson, and I mean, I hate to say it, but no surprise here. Nelson gets his question wrong, and he falls, so he's out. Next is Cal. He gets his question wrong, and he gets jolted, but he stays on, so he's not out just yet. After that, it's Bananas, and Bananas decides that he is gonna throw this week's challenge because he wants to go in and he wants to get his red skull. He's decided that it's time, so he throws the question away by giving some BS answer about TJ's mom, and he jumps off. Next is Fessy. He gets his question wrong, but he gets his question wrong, he gets jolted, but he stays on. Next is Rogan, and he gets his question right, and he gets his question right, and he gives his strike to Swaggy. Now I thought this was interesting because for some strange reason now Rogan has a problem with Swaggy. We haven't seen any beef between them all season, so this is new. But he gives his strike to Swaggy. Rogan then has to go again, and he gets it right, and then once again he gives a strike to Swaggy, and unfortunately Swaggy's out. Next is Fessy again. He gets his question right this time, and he gives a strike to Cal, and now Cal is out because he got it, I think he got it wrong last time. Yeah, he got his question wrong last time, so he's out of the game now. Next is Wes. He gets his question right, and he gives his strike to Fessy, who is now out because he also got his question wrong last time, so now he's out. The last two guys standing are Rogan and Wes. Rogan tries to make a deal with Wes. He's like, hey, bring me into the tribunal. I want to be in there. I want Burger King, or whatever the case may be. And Wes, you know, he agrees. He agrees with Rogan. Rogan drops, and that makes Wes the winner for the guys for this week's challenge. So after the challenge is all over and they're all back in front of TJ, TJ says that Wes and Dee, because they won for their heats, they're the first two in the tribunal, and not only do they get Burger King, but they also get $5K apiece. It's a gift from Burger King. They also pick Rogan to be the third person in the tribunal for this week, but Rogan doesn't get any money, he just gets Burger King. Next, after everybody gets back from the challenge and everything like that, Bananas is going around the house and he's asking everybody to throw him in. He wants to go in, he wants his red skull, it's time, and he feels like he's ready. So after all that, you know, everybody's talking and everything like that about how Bananas wants to go in, and Josh is, you know, saying to everybody that he also wants to go in, but he doesn't want to go against Bananas because Bananas is his friend. I am gonna be honest, I don't remember Josh and Bananas being friends. Josh may be a number for Bananas, but I don't think they're friends, and I just thought it was strange that Josh was saying that, oh, if, you know, he loses Johnny in this game, he's not gonna be okay emotionally and mentally. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Somebody let me know. Somebody, you know, let me know if I missed something. When have Josh and Bananas ever been friends? I mean, maybe they get along, but friends? Josh is being dramatic. But anyways, Josh also wants to go in. Corey wants to go in. And everybody's kind of, you know, like, hey, I want to go in too. So they're just not sure if they want to throw Bananas in. But yeah. Next, the next scene we see, you know, the tribunal is having their Burger King dinner and everything like that. And they're talking and everything like that. And Wes is saying how he feels that it's not fair that Bananas wants to throw himself in because Wes won this week and he wants to go in and get his red skull. And the fact that him and Bananas are working together, he feels like Bananas should give it to him. It's a whole thing. I mean, Wes has a point, but also, I mean, Bananas does too. He can throw himself in if he wants. So, you know, obviously we'll see what happens, but you know, that's what they talk about at the BK dinner. After that is House Noms time. House Noms go pretty quick. Bananas, he starts things off and he's like, look, I've never wanted to go into elimination willingly, but you know, this season is a bit different. You have to have a red skull to go to the final. So I would like to throw myself in, and I want you guys to nominate me, and I want to go in. And I mean, everyone is pretty much in agreement. Corey's skeptical. He's like, you know, usually we're enemies. I would love to throw you in, but this season I kind of feel like I'm giving you what you want. But you know what? I'm gonna give it to you, which I also thought was strange, because I'm not saying that everybody has to hate Bananas, but where's the pushback? You know, everybody's really friendly this season, which is fine. You know, everybody doesn't have to hate each other. That's not what I'm saying, but you know, everybody's a little friendly this season. Nobody is willing to rock the boat too much, you know? But anyways, that's another conversation. Corey, you know, he says that he's gonna give Bananas what he wants, and so does the rest of the house, and Bananas is the nominee for this week, and he's going in. Next, everyone's out at the club again. Everybody's having a good time. Bananas, he comes up to the tribunal, and they're talking and everything like that. And Wes says that he wants to talk to Bananas alone. Once Dee and Rogan leave, they're talking, and Wes basically tells Bananas how he feels. He's like, look, I won this week. I want to go in. I don't think it's fair of you to throw yourself in, which you already did. You threw yourself in, and you know that I want to get my red skull. What if this is the last guy's elimination? We don't know how many more eliminations we have. I want to go in and get my red skull. Bananas is like, look, let me do this. I'm pretty sure that you have a great chance against the other guys in the house. You can beat them easily, you know, especially against the guys who haven't gotten their red skull yet. And once again, Bananas has points, Wes has points. I understand Wes wanting to get his red skull, but I also understand Bananas being like, look, we're working together, okay? You don't have to throw yourself in. And Bananas also thinks that it's a dumb idea for Wes to actually throw himself in against him. But, you know, obviously, like I said, we'll see what happens, but they both made points, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Next, we have the tribunal, and the guys that they pick are Swaggy, Corey, and Kyle. Swaggy says he'll go against anybody. He just doesn't want to go against Wes because he likes Wes. That's his friend. And he's ready to go in. Kyle says that it's not necessarily that he just doesn't want to go into elimination. He doesn't want to go against Bananas. That's his guy. And Corey says that he's ready to go in and he's ready to win his red skull. So all three guys, well, Swaggy and Corey are willing to go in. Kyle doesn't want to go in against Bananas. So that's the tribunal. After that, it's purgatory time. So at purgatory, Bananas comes down, and there is no tribunal vote this week because Wes decides to throw himself in. Kind of saw it coming, definitely understand it. This is one of the greatest rivalries in the challenge history. These two have been arguing and fighting and trying to get each other out for about 15 years now, and it's all come to a head. So this is going to be one for the books, definitely. So the name of this week's elimination is called Charge the Wall. So basically what Wes and Bananas have to do is there's this big huge wall in the middle of the purgatory round, and when TJ blows the horn, they each have to run to the wall, punch, kick, smash holes in the wall, and find three hidden batteries that are hidden somewhere in this wall. They don't know what level it's on. They don't know if it's low or high. They just have to smash, kick, and punch until they find the batteries. Once they find their batteries, they have to take them back to their station, and then once they get all three batteries, it'll light up this light, and whoever lights up the light first wins the elimination. So TJ blows the horn and they get going. They basically both start off strong. They're kicking, they're punching. Banana starts off with this huge kick to the wall and everything like that. And they're both going. They're both kicking and punching and everything like that. Bananas is the first one to get his battery. And then Wes. And then Bananas goes, you know, they both go to their stations and put the battery in. Bananas goes back, Wes goes back. Bananas then finds his second battery, and I believe that Wes and, you know, some of his alliance, well, not alliance members, but, you know, friends are feeling the pressure. They're feeling like Bananas is gonna get it. Bananas does, you know, he finds his third battery at the same time that Wes is finding his second battery, and Bananas wins it, you know, and that's, you know, that's the elimination. It was a good one to watch. I mean, it wasn't necessarily head to head. Bananas was in the lead, but it was good to see, and you know, they dapped it up and hugged at the end, and it's always good to see that. You know, I think I've said before that I'm not really a Bananas fan, but I'd be, you know, an idiot to not acknowledge the great things that he has done on this show. He's one of the greatest male players to ever be on the challenge, and Wes is also one of the greatest male players to ever be on the challenge. And the fact that they've had a brewing and, you know, rivalry for 15 years just made this elimination much sweeter. I hate to see Wes go, but like TJ said, I'm sure we'll see him again. So once again, Bananas wins, and that's the end of the episode. If you made it this far, you might as well like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will be back next week with another recap. Until next time, peace out.